Okay, so we're going to start in 5, 4, 3, 2. Welcome to Mythic Odysseys of Theros. It is a time of myth and legend when the age of the world was measured in mere centuries and not millennia. In the time before history, empires of archons, Medusa, and giants ruled over a world enslaved until the gods arose to overthrow the titans, casting them down into the underworld. The gods then turned to lend aid to the mortal races, helping them overthrow their supernatural masters. 4 great human civilizations arose from the ashes of prehistory: Miletus, Akros, Olantin, and Setessa. But war soon clouded the human heart, and for a generation Akros and Olantin battled across the Siren Sea, until the sun god Heliod struck Olantin from the face of the world for an unknown offense. Centuries later, an era of relative peace grips the remaining nations of Theros. You have been tasked to deliver a letter for a wealthy astrologer in Oxus named Eurymaides. The recipient is a world-famous philosopher named Anapsi, who lives in the idyllic seaside village of Krymnos. I'm going to need everyone to roll some initiative.
15.
Well actually, plus to that.
Okay.
14.
So, Deimos is 2. Sebni is number 1. And what was your character's name?
Alia. A-L-I-A.
A-L-I-A. Like Alia the knife. So you're smack dab in the middle. So 1,
And what's your character name?
2,
Deimos.
3.
Deimos?
Okay.
I constantly think Phobos every time he says Deimos.
Alright, so as I say, y'all have all been tasked by this guy Eurymaides to go to this town and deliver a letter. He's willing to pay for transportation, so you have a choice of, did you trek all the way by land with a cart and wagon and a driver, or did you have a boat zip you across the bay to the town of Krymnos? Y'all need to come up with this answer together.
Don't do boats.
Don't do boats?
Don't do boats.
It's a little dicey sometimes, because if you sink, can you swim?
Centaurs can swim. They can actually swim, but not very well.
And not in the middle of a bay, obviously.
Yeah. No, she just doesn't like, nope, not crossing the bay.
I'm okay with going by cart.
That's fine.
It's safer.
Alright.
Persuadable.
Then y'all get control of Elsha the Wanderer, a gruff, cheerless, sour and moody satyr who drives the cart, and the horse she has is named Nixie. One of y'all can basically use her as a auxiliary NPC. She's sort of part of your party, but y'all can also just like ignore her and just have her stay with the cart and never take her along with anything. It's kind of your call. If you do that, she'll leave after a week if you don't use her to go back to Oxus.
Yeah.
So
Let the tank have a backup.
people. She's
That's not very good.
sort of. She's pretty dexterous. Not the
How tall is your
wisest.
character again?
No, she's the most plain Jane of all of the 2 sidekicks you could have chosen. But you didn't want to take the boat.
Is that setting specific to you?
No, it was just part of the conversation we're having earlier. The thief doesn't know how tall he is.
Has spent too much time away from
Pick
civilization.
a height. You're human. You can be whatever height a human can be.
6'2".
Alright.
Then we were right. The Centaur is actually the shortest character in the party.
What? Really?
Yeah.
What?
Okay, so we need to
6
figure
foot,
out
600 pounds.
Dang.
what time of year it is. We're just going to randomly generate the month. Deimos. Roll a die 12.
4.
April.
Alright. Well, no, because I start their year at spring, not the middle of winter, so March, April, May. It's effectively June, the beginning of June, the month of Polydryson.
June in Greece. It's still warm.
Yeah. Okay, roll 5 die 6 for the day of the month, Alia.
Oh, I got 3 handy, so that's 15. 21.
So it's the 21st day of the month of Polydryson. And what time of day of it, Sebni? Roll a die 4.
4.
Alright.
Sorry.
You roll a 6.
3.
Okay, so it's morning on the 21st day of Polydryson, as you roll up in your little cart to the town of Krymnos. So on this little map here, y'all have been coming from this direction, coming from the city of Metis, and coming in, passing through some quaint little picturesque farms. And the first area of town is basically kind of called the Public. It's a little bit of like a town park. There's several large buildings, one of which is the Agora. Agora is kind of a walled, open town market. They don't really have shops in this town. Instead, like various local vendors will come and have a little stall kind of stuff. It's also where like public figures will hold meetings, and where like philosophers and their students will come and have discussions and stuff. It's kind of an all-purpose public square. There is also a small gymnasium / arena, and there is a small amphitheater. If you would like to stop by any of these places or try to make a simple...
We're looking for a philosopher,
Yeah,
so let's go to the amphitheater.
Can we get the name of that philosopher again?
Anapse. A-N-A-P-S-E. The founder of the Anapsian School of Philosophy, which is all about learning to enjoy the simple pleasures of life and not quite being so stoic.
Alright, so we'll go to the amphitheater, because they should know where this guy's at.
Okay, so we're going to roll a random amphitheater encounter. Deimos, since you got the lowest initiative for this session, you'll be rolling most of our encounters, because basically the person with the worst luck controls the luck of the group. So, roll a dice 6.
I like those odds.
1.
Alright.
That's either really good or really bad.
I know.
And if he's as wily as a DM as I usually am, it may be both. Depending on the chart.
Okay, the amphitheater is empty. There's no like business there. There are let's see. Oh, I guess we should roll for that. There's a total of 5 cloaked figures milling about the foot of the stage. I'm trying to find a little map thing of. They have one for amphitheaters.
Oh, you're looking at the map?
Here we go.
No, I just want to see what. Yeah, before you.
So by way of example, cut into the side of a little hill, you got the seating area and stuff. You come in through the main and back entrance. Everything's dark. There doesn't seem to be like any work crew or stuff. There's a little group of about 5 guys wearing cloaks so you can't see their features, milling about around the foot of the stage as you enter.
As a rogue, I'm very skeptical of people in cloaks.
I just trot on over because that's probably people that work here are actors or something.
Could I make a perception check? Nothing specific, just want to make sure there's nothing weird about them, like any maybe weapons that I could see.
Make a perception check.
12.
Plus 2. And do I have... Yes, I do. It's plus 6.
So 18.
Okay, you catch a glimpse of some light reflecting off a golden surface, and it causes you to turn, and over in the corner, the eaves of the curtains, back, you know, where they have like a little drop thing to bring cargo and props up and down behind the stage, you see a tall, menacing figure, not wearing a cloak, just having this, like kind of like one of those like barbaric strap kind of things over his chest and a loincloth, and wearing this golden mask. Like a Greek theater kind of mask, you know.
Do you think I could identify the nature of the mask? Like what it possibly means with an intelligence check?
With an Arcana check or a religion check, perhaps.
Ooh, I'd roll low, but I can try.
Okay.
Ah, 2.
Okay, no, it's just dude in a golden mask. As you walk, you call attention to your companions, like, hey, check out this guy in the corner.
Yeah, actually. What should I say? Something along the lines of like, he's kind of like, he's not a lion in many words.
You can point them out. You can point him out to them so that they can just look
point
and
over
see.
and I
say, like,
Can I go ahead and make a perception check?
Yeah, actually, you need to make a religion check with advantage.
Okay.
That's 2
I've
points.
got +3 on religion,
You got this.
so that's a
You
19.
roll twice.
Well, you take the highest of the
Is it
2,
really
yeah,
high
because
for
advantage you get 2 die. Either way, you take the
No,
higher of the
okay.
2.
So 19.
Okay, you recognize this dude as, because of your piousness and training and knowledge of the cult of Phoenix, this is one of the returned. This is what the returned look like. These are people who have died but have managed to crawl their way back out of the underworld to regain life, but they lose all their facial features and they wear these masks instead. And they're generally associated with sinister things, but you are a Phoenix cultist yourself, and Phoenix is basically the first of the return, because that's his whole shtick. That's how he became a god, was he was the first one to escape the underworld, and everyone who has done so is following his path in a way. So, from your point of view, this might not necessarily be a negative that this guy's here.
Is there some kind of like secret sign that I can identify that I'm a member of the cult?
Yeah, I would say you could make like a basic, like a simple DC 10 religion check to like give them some sort of like passcode, or you say something from a text, you know, some sort of holy words that they would recognize, like, oh, you're part of the Brotherhood. You know, they hit secret handshake.
Alright, well, I don't want to do that yet. I'm going to consult with, are you waiting?
I was going to make a perception
approach,
check, but I
or
was waiting to...
Okay, so you
Can I
still
go?
want to make a perception check? Are you percepting the returned guy, or are you going to be checking out the people at the base of the stage?
I'll check the people at the base of the stage.
Okay.
That's where I was heading originally.
Alright, just to beat a DC 10.
17.
Okay. Despite being cloaked and not wearing like martial type outfits, they also, you can catch the glimpse under the hood that they also have that golden mask thing on. So apparently this is a whole little group of returned.
Are we walking in a group, sort of like little tight?
That's up to y'all. Y'all do have to come through like the narrow entryway, and then you get up to the kind of the
I was already
stage
trotting.
area. And
I was already trotting their direction, so...
I think I want to take the front of the group, just to sort of guard the 2.
Alright, so if we approach them, I need to let them know that I'm a member of the cult. Otherwise, this could probably turn out
I'm trying to figure out what
just- you
skill...
can
poorly for
They're all
us.
insights to figure out if this is normal for them to hang around a place like this, you know. Are they part of the... Because I would think she would know something about this, because we're philosophers and...
Yeah, and also like having like being part of the entertainment industry, so to say. Sure.
So insight +5. That's an 18.
Okay, judging that, you get a closer look at the robes that, in spite of the mask thing, or even maybe with the mask thing, they're kind of dressed like as you would expect the chorus for a theater troupe would be dressed. They just be the...
It wouldn't be unusual to see them here.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
The masks, like, they normally don't wear golden masks like that. That's the thing that stands out. And after catching a glimpse of the guy that he spotted over in the corner, that's a bit of a thing, but they look like just a normal part of the theater presentation. They'd be the people in the back, you know, singing.
Well, I will...
Alright, should we just go ahead and ask them where the philosopher is? But if they act weird, I'll let them know that I'm a member of
That sounds good.
What I was going to do is
the cult.
being the bard of the party.
Yeah. Go for
Just
it.
walk up and ask him, hey, we're looking for Anites, or however you pronounce it.
NFC.
Anapsi. We're here to deliver a message to him.
Okay, roll a DC 8 persuasion.
Let's see, what's my persuasion? +2. Make a 14.
He lives at the top of the hill.
Sweet. Okay, that's all we need to know.
Alright.
Let's head out.
Okay, let's go.
No reason
We're here to do- we're here to do
no
the
reason
job.
to mess around with these people.
You gotta remember, she doesn't want to be here. She doesn't want to be a hero, so she wants to get this done.
Let's get it.
Where is the top of the hill?
Okay, well, so the amphitheater is right here.
I lead the
As you
way.
walk out, like one of them will like point.
With
And
a little
indicate
crooked finger.
there's a little villa house, one story, that's like right at the edge of the cliff, overlooking the little fisher part of the village.
Okay.
It's not one
I
of the
give them
biggest
a,
ones.
I give them a farewell that would be appropriate for bards and party stuff.
Break a leg, guys.
Yeah, but whatever. You know.
You're welcome.
Alright, let's go to the hill.
Alright.
Um,
Well, it's right on the edge of the village section, so you're not really in that area enough to trigger another random encounter. You can go straight to the house. There is... It's a modest villa overlooking the village. Oh, fuck. I forgot to roll names for a couple of these people. Where is my Centaur's guide? To instantaneously not have to make up something Greek.
it's all Greek to me.
I assume that the common language is Greek.
Well,
makes
while he's
sense.
looking it up, this is based off a Magic the Gathering world, and no, it's not.
Okay, yeah, there's a pretty blonde secretary, I guess medieval Greek version of secretary named Callista, spelled with a K, who greets y'all at the entry to the house. It's one of those buildings that's got a kind of a central courtyard with a nice little fountain and a little garden, and all the rooms and whatnot kind of built into the outer perimeter.
Hello.
What can I do for you today, sirs?
We're looking for Anapezi. We have a message from... What's the guy's name?
Euramides.
We have a message from Euramides, and we got the impression we should probably wait for a reply.
Okay, well, come inside, and I'll go seek my master and tell him that he's got a message.
Alright, I'm kind of glancing around to see if anything looks weird. in
It's
this
a
area.
pleasant house for a wealthy person that you would expect. It's not one of the largest buildings in the town. You know, it's like a lot of white marble, little statues here and there, knickknacks. From a thief's point of view, I mean, there are some pretty things that could be jacked in the middle of the night, possibly. There's a kitchen over on one side. There's you can see a satyr, who apparently is the household cook, bustling around in there, and there's also a human housekeeper, as well as the secretary.
I say hi to the satyr and Sullivan.
Any places where I can just sit down, keep watch, like the general.
Well, like, she leads you into the central courtyard, she has y'all wait for a second, and she goes off through some curtains, and a moment later she comes back with an older man, balding, wispy hair, kind of Jean-Luc Picard kind of like crest of hair around the back of his head, wearing a nice, like, dark, rich blue, like belted tunic kind of thing, and sandals, and
Greetings, great master. We are here. I am Alia of the Lexan tribe, Lagona tribe. We've been sent with a message. She's very respectful because, of course, she said she's like Aristotle.
Okay, well, if you'll hand over the letter, I assume.
Give it to him.
He'll take it, he pops the seal and unscrolls it, because obviously it's Greece, so letters aren't folded, everything's in little tiny scrolls and shit. And he reads it, and he gets kind of a troubled look on his face, and he's like, okay, if you are willing, if you come back in the morning, I'll have a reply for you to take back to Euramides.
Okay.
Do you have any recommendation on lodgings?
This town doesn't really have any inns or anything. You could potentially get some of the other nobles to maybe take you in for a night. I mean, the traditions of hospitality being what they are in this age. Or you can go to the Agora. They allow people to, travelers and traders can sleep in the open air pavilion at night after.
Let's go there.
Yeah.
Centaurs don't like sleeping in buildings anyway.
Yeah,
She's like, yeah, okay.
I'm used to sleeping outside anyway.
sounds good.
He goes back into his office with the letter. Y'all are shown to the door. You have the whole day basically ahead of you, because since it's only morning, so you can either just say that you're going to rest and wait at the Agora until the next day, or you can poke around the town as you see fit.
I'd like to. Do I smell or see anything that seems to indicate that there's a scroll making? And
There's a what going on?
her profession is a scribe and everything.
As I said, there's nothing really quite like that. There is a temple to the sun god Heliod in the center of the villa on top of the hill that kind of overlooks everything.
No library or anything.
There's no library. Various people living there might have their own private little archives and whatnot,
Is
but,
it a little
but nothing
populated?
public like that.
I'm not
There's
gonna
about
pop-
120 people living there, mostly human and a small handful of satyrs.
It
About
seemed pretty humble.
yeah, it's an idyllic little town that's like half fishers and half like wealthy people and winemakers.
Fish.
I'm not too keen to go in the temple because I'm wanted in like 99 temples.
Okay. I mean, you could
Alia kind of looks at you like,
this and that.
okay.
99 problems and they're all temples.
you could try going back to the amphitheater perhaps to see like what's going on with the return thing, since you have the Phoenix connection.
Actually,
Or-
that would be kind of cool. Alia would like to. Alia would like to go because she's a bard.
Is Elsha still with us?
Our satyr friend running around with us.
Yeah, that is a question. Do you want to be having her with you, or do you want her to just stay with the wagon?
I prefer for her to stay with the wagon to watch the horses, just make sure things can be kept. We can also leave like a lot of the bulk of our items in the wagon, I assume.
Yeah.
we
Okay,
can walk
so
around
You don't have a bulk of items quite yet, anyway, though.
No, I got my.
I'm a centaur. I carry everything.
So maybe we should set up a
a camp.
little spot in the Agora if that's where we're staying.
Well, the Agora is probably where
Secure
we
that.
should go stay. But,
Okay.
But yeah, just have a
Yeah.
little spot.
but Alia is really keen on visiting the theater because, of course, like I said, she's bardy.
Yeah, my Sebni's never actually seen any, because he's from a tribe, so he's never actually seen anything that like theatrical. So something like that may arouse his attention.
Not sure if my friends will follow me, but I'm gonna go poke my nose around the.
Yeah. I'll follow
Okay,
you.
so you're going to go to the amphitheater first?
Yeah, just kind of
Right.
poke around.
Alright. Since you're leading the way this time, you get to roll a d6 to see what's there.
What's up?
What's going on now by
We're
the time you get
leaving-
back. A 3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's
Yeah.
a small performance,
We're leaving Elsha.
like a late morning performance of the play called the Calafia. It's a big, long, poetic saga about a famous sea captain of a ship called the Monsoon that had helped mapped out a good chunk of the East Coast and had first discovered the Dakra Islands in part of the West.
I say
And
we
stuff
sit down
like
and
that.
watch it. That's what Alia wants to do.
Is it a stone's throw from the wagon? Or
Yeah, the wagon's like, say, out here, parked on the edge of the public somewhere.
Is there enough time for me to go ditch my things?
If you want.
All right. I'm gonna go back to.
You'll
my-
miss, like, most of the play.
Fuck it. I'll just stick through it because I got like my quiver, my armor, my longbow, my mace, all this shit on me.
So does Alia. She's
explore-
just gonna walk over and just
Damn it.
sit down and watch it.
My spear. Like, hey guys.
Like I said, she's
Sure, watch
got
a-
she's got her rapier, her dagger, her shield, and her spear, and all of her equipment on her back.
It's common in these days to just have adorn a weapon, I assume.
Well, it's a small theater troupe. You see those same, those chorus guys in the back doing, like, what choruses do.
Mm-hmm.
And, which in Greek theater is not quite the same as, like, modern gospel church choruses kind of
Nah, they're
thing.
more the sound
They're like singing along the narration kind of stuff. And, but like the rest of the troupe seems normal. There's one Triton amongst them. As far as performances goes, it's not the best performance of the Calafia you've ever seen, but it's
Well, it's the only one I've ever
Is
seen.
it a play? Is it a play I would know with my history? And
So-
everything?
Or
yeah, it's one of the 3 most popular sagas that are told on the.
I'm not that interested in stagecraft, and I'm just more looking
just
around for
sitting there.
anything suspicious the whole time.
just sitting
Anybody
there.
that would do what I would do if I wasn't.
I'm
with a
actually
party.
completely transfixed on the performance.
Yeah.
Just almost like I'm listening to a storyteller.
Okay, so you're paying attention, you're paying attention. You're looking around. Roll another perception check.
Okay, +2. 13. 11 plus 1.
Off to the side of the stage, like not on the stage itself and kind of past where the seating rafters are, you can see that masked guy again, the one with the cross bandolier outfit on, staring at you, or at least you assume staring at you since he's wearing a mask. But the eye slits are pointed in your direction, and he's just perfectly still and staring and seeming to be
He
watching.
recognizes you.
All right, I'm gonna try and see if I can make some kind of culty hand signal or something.
Okay, make a religion check. Make some sort of sign of Phoenix.
Okay, I got a +3
Just throwing up gang
religion.
signs in the theater.
No one's paying attention to it.
13 plus 3, 16.
East side, motherfucker. You rolled a what?
16.
Okay,
16.
that's good enough to
Got
he
his
nods
feature.
at you and then kind of does this motion with his head, and he kind of starts walking off a little bit around the side of the hill.
Yeah, I'm like,
You want to let us know
I'm
before
gonna do this. I'm like, okay, I'll be right back. I saw this guy again.
where you're going?
I don't know. So if I don't come back, it's probably
you
not
doing?
good. That weird guy that we saw before, he motioned to me.
Should I accompany you?
No, he's a member of my cult. Might be safer if there's no non-cultists.
All right. Be safe.
She's just kind of looking at you like you're nuts.
And what was your name again? It was
Deimos.
Deimos and
Alia.
Alia. All right.
Without being too obvious, I'll keep an eye on where he goes.
I inform you as well.
Yeah.
Do
Well, I mean, I
this
was
is-
sitting right there next to him, so I heard you.
Well, a little ways off to the side of where the hill's been cut into to form the seating, there's a couple little bushes, and there's a little obscure kind of door that you might not have noticed if the guy hadn't directly led you around the corner to look at it, because there's like some rocks and some trees and foliage in the way. And he walks in to this door that's kind of just cuts into the hill and looks like it goes down. Are you going to follow afterwards?
32 minutes
Am I
into the
about to
game,
break
and
the
we're
number
about,
one
we're
rule?
about to do the number one rule. Don't split the party.
Oh shit!
It's too interesting not to go in, though.
It's
Oh,
an interesting,
man.
I like the kind of scene if you think about it visually, though. You're in town, you got the day to kill, you're watching a play, and he wanders off to, like,
Yeah.
some cult mysteries going on.
Okay. Okay. Alia is too smart. She gets up and follows.
All right.
With a 16 intelligence, she's too smart. She's like, okay.
How about
not
make an
smart.
intelligence save to see if she's too smart, and not just declare it?
Wait. 16. 5, so by 11 points.
Ooh.
No, the save is like, you roll...
Oh, it's plus 3, so 8.
Yeah. No, you're not smart enough. You're enraptured by... You're critiquing how bad these guys are doing this play.
And I'm just trying to I'm just paying attention.
You're like
to
a
the story.
YouTuber watching an episode of Star Trek made by CBS All Access, and you can't... Like, I know there's something better's going on, but this is pissing me off so much.
Ah.
Okay, you're
Okay. So you're gonna follow him down?
Alright, I'm gonna follow him down.
Alright. It's a narrow little stair cut right into the hill. It kind of corkscrews down a little bit, makes a turn and another turn, and then there's another door, like an old kind of wooden rounded top door. He opens it up and holds it open, and you see like some halls and some rooms off to the side and a well-lit torch. It's not dirty and dank or anything. Everything looks well swept and well kept. You'd think the angle of it's kind of underneath the theater.
Never get out of line of sight of the healer.
I'm gonna go in through the door.
Welcome, brother, to the
curious
Temple of
about-
Phenax.
Oh jeez.
And
it's right
because
beneath.
I'm extremely pious, so like if this is
You're on your
the
own,
real deal, I have to follow up. I live for this.
You're on your own. I'm writing a really nasty review of this freaking play. Okay,
I'm just having a great time, just like this huge line, laughing like this thing. Like, oh,
Yeah, you wandered off. You wandered off away from both of the healers.
I'm having a really good time.
Okay.
So I say,
You see Alia grumbling under her breath.
greetings, brother. Thank you for your hospitality. I am in town briefly. I am just a humble adventurer, but I am a great servant of Phoenix. Is there any way I can be of service to you today?
Now, the master of this temple is currently busy right now entertaining the common crowds, but perhaps later he would be willing to speak to you. I am known as Krios, and you are
I am Deimos of Citrium.
Deimos of Citrium. Are you the boy that escaped the labyrinth of Scophos? Your name is known. Yes, I'm sure that Alias, that is the name of the theater director, would be willing to speak with you later this evening. after he's done with the day's entertainment.
Very good. I will see if I will arrange my affairs and return later this evening. Where should I meet him?
You can come down here. You've been shown the way. After sunset, he will be in his quarters in the underlevel here, so. And his name is Alias, A-E-L-I-U-S.
Thank you. I shall return later. I bid you farewell for now, for I need to seek my companions.
Alright. Well, you've found the location of the hidden gambling den / Temple of Phoenix underneath the theater in town.
Of course, the thief would find that.
Which could or cannot be helpful. Alright, so, play goes on. I mean, it's a long-winded Greek play. I mean, this thing can drag on like a good chunk of the day.
Oh, I'm having a great time.
I'm just thinking about how glad I am that I actually followed that guy instead of having to watch this dribble.
You get back
like torture.
You're like, oh god. But it finally comes to an end. Like some of the actors are like talking to the kids who are watching it from the morning crowd and stuff up front, and otherwise like everyone just kind of mills off and goes about their day. Do you want to go to another location? Do you want to try to talk to any more of the theater people, or do you feel like you've already established as much contact as necessary for now?
I'm a little thrilled from just watching the play, and I kind of want to see more of the city just because it seems.
It's like I said, it's a little town.
Seems more engaging. I wasn't I wasn't so excited before that event. Are there any people that I can talk to, just like strangers, just to ask like if there are any other places we could visit for like little sites or whatever, or something, maybe like
you can talk to like a random person like leaving from the crowd or something, and they'll mention what I already said. You have a gymnasium that has a small arena in it, where if you want you can like sign up for arena fights or place bets on fights that are there, or just get your general like workout and public bath needs taken care of at the gymnasium. There's the Agora, where people, you know, one of the town's big draws is the fact that Anapsi, by living here, has brought in a bunch of other philosophers who like to come and argue with him. Anapsi used to be like the head philosopher who was in charge of the entire city of Miletus until he retired, but he's still like... people will come far and wide to come chat with the guy, and so there's often, even if he's not there, there's other philosophers having debates and stuff in the Agora.
Well, before I do that, because that's what I want to do, but before I do that, I want to rack my brain and see if there's any historical... if there's any history to this town that I might know. If it's famous for anything other than just a philosopher popped down.
So I've already found all the cool stuff in the city, so I'm just gonna like kind of watch their backs while.
Make a roll and see what you get, and I'll determine what kind of information you get.
23. 23,
okay. Kremnos is like one of the earliest colonies of Miletus. After Miletus, the city was founded. It was originally just only a fishing village, and fairly unremarkable history up until recently. After Naps retired here, a lot of like wealthy nobles and their families relocated. You're looking around, you can start to tell that like the amphitheater and the gymnasium are fairly recent constructions, and also the town is starting to develop a reputation for being a source of high-quality wines. But that used to not be a thing. This, for the longest time, it was just a podunk.
The old money's moved in.
Yeah, and all because a celebrity decided to move to town. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm gonna go look for those philosophers.
Yeah. All right.
I will.
The philosopher bard is going to go find.
Yeah.
Which is going to bore the hell out of you, but you're going to be like, probably, ooh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Crime is everywhere. There's always danger in every corner.
It's not the right time for crime, though. So let's say it's about mid-afternoon by the time y'all are done watching this long play and having your brief meeting with Krios, the Returned. So the Agora's location for local and visiting merchants. Weapons are only available for purchase if you have the right random encounter. Livestock is only available during the last week of every month, and that's not quite there, so no one's there selling livestock. There's an acolyte who tends to a shrine of Ephara, who is the goddess of cities and magic, and is like the patron saint of the entire Milesian civilization.
Oddly enough, not interested.
And let's see, there will be 1 die 4 plus 1. There are 5 philosophers, and I need a die 12.
I'm gonna bore the hell out of you talking shop.
There are 5 philosophers arguing in front of 9 philosophy students, having a raucous debate between the school of Anapsianism and the other school of formalism, which is popular in the town. So basically, traditionalists versus hedonists. Kind of a discussion going on. And then roll a C. Deimos, you still got the lowest initiative, so roll a D10 for our Agora encounter.
Is initiative the same as luck?
Yes and no. 1. Okay, who has the lowest passive perception?
Lowest?
Let's see, I have a passive perception.
It'd be a 10 plus your wisdom bonus.
Mine's 15 for all 3.
My wisdom's 14. Oh wait, perception?
So it's your bonus then, so it's plus 3 for wisdom, so you have a passive perception of 13.
Mine's
No, it's
10.
I got a. It's
My wisdom's plus 2.
Okay, so it'd be 12, and yours is wisdom plus 2, 12.
Mine's wisdom
It
plus...
comes between the two of you. Okay, Lion, make a DC 15 dexterity save.
DC 15?
Mine's actually a 15. I'm not sure why the website says that. But I'll have to look it up.
9 plus...
Well, it's because my proficiency bonus. I'm proficient.
9 plus 4?
A dexterity save.
Oh, dexterity. 9 plus 3. 12.
Okay,
Do I? And I have proficiency in dex.
so another plus 2.
Yeah, that's why I got a 15 because I've got proficiency in it too. So mine's a 15.
So I got 14.
Okay, that is not high enough to beat a 15. You got pickpocketed and just lost your gold coins.
That's fine. It's just 2 gold coins.
This is yeah.
All right.
Pretty laissez-faire considering there's not much money in this.
That's how you react to it, eh? Like,
I
oh
mean,
well, I lost
Could
my money.
Could I look around?
You want to make a perception check?
Sure.
DC 20 to spot the thief in the crowd.
Passive wisdom, baby.
Any chance I might have noticed it with mine?
He hasn't alerted you to anything going on. He just got pickpocketed.
5.
Oh,
Somebody
all
see
right.
him.
I don't see him looking around.
Somebody
Do you,
took my
like-
wallet.
Okay.
DC 20
My
perception
father gave me that
skill.
wallet.
So die 20 plus whatever your perception is.
My perception
You'd expect the
is
taller...
plus 5, so 18.
Oh, nice.
Not enough. All
I have
right.
no clue.
Thief got away. All right.
That's fine.
The girl who's designed to see things is like. I'm distracted by the philosophers. But she's about to get in this debate.
All right.
I mean, is there any chance I could get a bonus for sleight of hand or stealth instead of perception to
The thief is trying to be
see
thiefy.
the
Anti-thief.
thief
The
getting
thief is
away?
trying to be anti-thiefy.
The anti-thief.
Not really under these circumstances. It's kind of, he is the DC. He had the dexterity save to see if he noticed that he was being pickpocketed, and then failed to spot the thief, and then you failed to spot the thief.
Well,
I
I've
don't
got perception or investigation. I'll try and see if I saw anything too.
You could
Is that
just
no?
like we've done a perception check, like maybe an investigation check to like look around and see if you think anyone looks suspicious, or maybe an insight check would work for that too.
I've got I got a plus 3.
I got a plus 5 to both of those skills.
So,
I mean, it's not a...
I'm distracted by the
I have
philosophers.
an investigation
Sorry.
skill, yeah. But that's only an 8 with 5. 5 plus 3. So.
We're all distracted by the philosophers.
Yeah.
Like shit, you just
Not
clean
much.
got away with his 2 gold coins. Okay, so as I say, there's kind of 2 factions kind of arguing with each other. You have the formalists and you have the Anapsians. The Anapsians are taking the stance of people should be free to just enjoy life, and the formalists are like, no, it's duty and honor, and you know, having to like carry on tradition and all that.
Based
kind of
upon
stuff.
what little I know, she would be.
Whose side are you going to take?
She would be on the new people, not the traditional.
So you're gonna join in with the Anapsians.
Yeah.
All right. So
How badly can I screw this up?
what angle are you going to use to base your argument on. Like, pick a skill and that you're going to use as the basis. Are you going to attack this from a religious angle, or attack it from a historical angle? Or are you going to use your knowledge of human nature?
Which one would the human nature one be?
Nature. Human nature.
Okay, yeah, +5.
So, like, you know,
20.
Alright, you successfully impress them and are not just dismissed as being an upstart student. You get to actually argue with the other main philosophers there. There's not really much to be accomplished with it, but it does build you a little bit of reputation with people who are important in town.
And it helps the students.
Philosophers.
Okay, so is that how you're going to spend the rest of your day?
I'm going to try and, like, watch out more closely, so make sure nobody gets pickpocketed again.
When I realize what he does, I make sure I put my pocket in the brawl strap. Basically, it's like
you guys have more cash than me, I assume.
Yeah, she doesn't want to lose what little money she's got.
Yeah. You should all be fairly broke because I'm like way denuded the amount of gold.
Yeah, you gave me 5.
Yeah.
Which I probably should write down.
I only had 2.
That's probably what I'm gonna do most of the day. She's in her environment, having a fat field day.
Okay.
This trip might not be. This trip might be worth it after all.
Have I tried to persuade you that we should go back after dark?
Well, after dark, obviously, so we go.
No, they'll be done with their. They're not gonna just like keep arguing on it.
This isn't gonna be a 4 in the morning.
I'm just, you know, I probably make a few sarcastic comments from time to time about philosophers, but.
I'm just completely gilded by the array, like the whole social.
One's enraptured, the other's like.
Okay.
Just 2 completely different walks of life.
Yeah, the librarian is in her environment.
So evening comes. Do you all return to the amphitheater alongside
time to take a
your
nap.
thieving companion?
I actually wouldn't mind going to the arena to sharpen up my...
Before that happens?
At nighttime?
Or
I am, I mean, if it's...
Well, it's like it's early evening right now. It's not like... Like red at dusk.
Okay, I'll watch you break things.
Nice. Okay. I'm down. Let's go to the arena.
Alright, roll a die 4 since you're leading the way to the arena.
It's 4. This is flat.
There's nothing going on right there. It seems to be closed down. There's maybe a few people like jogging around this little athletic track in the middle of the area, but there's no fighting or anything going on.
Is it?
You rolled no encounter.
Is there any kind of so there's nobody in the arena, and there's nobody.
Yeah, it's basically there's a little fighting pit. It's not a huge, big arena. It's a small town, but it's got a little fighting pit kind of off the side. Mainly, there's like a big kind of athletics track area with a low wall around it. That's got like some weights and some other kind of exercising kind of shit to play with. And there's also a one-story low, big heated public bath.
Bath time.
Any like people that work there that I could speak to see if I could just...
No one that's got anything interesting to say. You rolled no encounter.
Could I... Are there any archery spots that I could practice my archery at?
Yeah.
May I?
Yeah.
Alright. So, what's the farthest...
there's nothing to do. You're just...
The ranger wants to poke things.
I just... Yeah.
Okay, you sit there and you practice your ranging for a little bit.
Can I...
We're going back to the amphitheater after this.
Can I take
the question is, like, if you want, you can stay there and you're just exercising. You're just practicing with your arrows. Arrow target. What distance?
Okay, let's start at.
There's nothing to gain from this.
I know
at all. Okay,
150 feet.
DC 16 or AC 16.
AC 16.
You have to beat its AC of 16 to hit it.
Hell yeah! Is that small? 7. And that's plus 5.
It's still not enough to beat it.
Alright, so I miss.
Alright, let's go. Come on, you guys. Let's go back. Let's go find out what this mystery is. Maybe we can profit.
Time to go to bed.
Alright. They're closing down at the amphitheater for the second show of the day, and you see some people like leaving as y'all are coming up to the little main entrance to the back of the stage, and you see that that sentry guy Krios He's waiting by the door, and he nods at you as you come up, and like, your companions are fine.
Yes, they are trustworthy, and they're not part of any foolish causes.
That you know of.
Very well. Come inside. He takes you back. There's some torches lit as it's growing dark. You don't see the hooded guys in the chorus or any of the other actors there. But there is, sitting at a table off in the wings of the stage, you see one of the human actors that you remember from the show, who is playing like the lead male role in the Califea. Apparently he's the theater director. He's the guy named Alias. And he's talking to a large Minotaur pirate from the looks of him, because he's wearing like the weird silky type clothes that they have in the Dakra Islands. And he's got like a big hoop earring off one of his Minotaur thing, and his left eye is blinded. And he's also sitting at the other side of this table, and he's got like a big old mug of ale or something, or wine.
History to see if anything famous about him?
If you want.
Are these pirate minotaurs different than the ones that imprisoned me?
They don't normally do pirate work. They're not a sea people at all, so it is weird seeing one dressed in that garb. It's very off-putting.
I'm like, I hate minotaurs, but I am intrigued that this is like no minotaur I've ever seen. And
I mean, I'm actively looking around, but I have no idea who he is.
So,
what did you roll, by the way? Because
it's a 9.
A 9, yeah. You wouldn't recognize anything about him.
I am, like I said, I am being observant.
Also, being a landlubber, it's not like you'd like, oh, that's the clothes of this pirate clan or anything like that.
So since I was invited here, I just decided I better go up to Halus and introduce myself.
Well, Krios, the sentry, will like announce you to the theater director. Alias, this is young Deimos, the lad who escaped the labyrinth. At which point, you see the Minotaur kind of bristle and like kind of give you this like leering like, who the fuck is this kid? Kind of challenging, threatening kind of gaze.
I gaze back.
No, not you, to Deimos.
I see that, and I gaze back just to let him know that I'm with him.
Give him that lion stare. Alright.
I move a little closer, but to him.
I've been reading a scroll on mindfulness for rogues. So I try to take 5 deep breaths when I see this Minotaur.
You get the inspiration point for the game. You can use the inspiration point to give yourself advantage on any roll, or you can give it to somebody else so they can get advantage. But
oh, nice.
But for your scroll, you get to have the inspiration point, which comes in the form of the Phoenix, or the Sphinx. Okay.
All right.
So, Alias stands up like, "Greetings, young brother. It's very welcome to have a young lad with your reputation to grace our hall. What brings you to the town of Krymnos?"
Just some courier work. It's not the type of thing I prefer to do, and I'm more interested in rendering service to our god Phoenix. But, you've got to make a living.
This is true, which is part of serving Phoenix. Well, we don't really have a whole bunch of huge operations going on in this town right now. The main thing we're working on is our friend here, Polychronopolis, who's a commander of a ship of Dakran pirates, is helping us to do some work for the master himself. We're trying to... Well, what he basically describes is apparently the Minotaurs of Scophos are waging increased attacks against the undead city of Odunos. Odunos, being a city of return, falls under Phoenix's purview, and so he's using his criminal network to smuggle weapons and supplies up to Odunos to bolster them, because Meletis and Akros and the other human kingdoms would not openly support a kingdom of undead. But in order to keep it from falling to the Minotaurs, he's using a network of pirates and smugglers to move a bunch. And that's why he's got the pirate Minotaur there. They're in the process of moving some treasure from Asphodel, which is another kingdom of the dead further to the east. on the other side of the world map. And so that's the thing that he's got going on. And whether or not you might be able to help with that's kind of questionable. They seem to kind of have things all in hand. But it is the first word that there's some sort of war brewing between the Minotaurs, back where you would spend a good chunk of your childhood, unfortunately, having some sort of conflict with the city.
Well, I do want to know if there are any ways that I can further the anti-Minotaur cause because of my great hatred for those Minotaurs that imprisoned me.
Deep scars.
The deep hatred for Minotaurs, you say?
Alia is just kind of smiling and biting her tongue for saying something.
You have big, brassy balls for a human of such size, little one.
How tall is this guy?
You're like 6'2", but he's like, after he stands up out of his chair, he's like 7'4". He's like a foot taller than you, just brawny, just rippling Minotaur, fucking pirate guy.
I stand a bit firmer and a bit more like.
Make an intimidation check.
So I have a +2 to intimidation plus my charisma, so that's. I got +3.
Ah, shit.
Wait, it hit this. You want me to re-roll?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and let you re-roll that. I don't like shit bouncing off stuff and interfering.
That one. Oh, red one. Oh, 14.
He laughs and pats you. I like this one. Ha! And he goes back and sits back down and goes back to his drink. Alias looks to you is like, oh, if I could come up with something that I can have you do for us, I will certainly let you know, but as of now, I'm in the middle of my meeting with Polychronopolis here. Feel free to use our facilities if you need a place to stay. You're probably not likely to want to stay there because it's underground and cramped.
That's why she's biting her tongue, because she's like...
You're not in the underground section, though. You're still up on the...
Yeah.
Up on the
So I ask him if he knows...
That's up to him, but then she's like...
anything about Anapsi, this hedonist that we delivered a letter to.
Well, he's a main draw to this town's economy. I mean, if Anapsi wasn't here, this place would quickly revert back to just being a nobody, nothing fishing town. And we'd have to set up shop somewhere else. It's only because of the amount of travel that comes through this town to come visit and see Anaps and have discussions in the Agora with the other philosophers that we're able to run any sort of smuggling or gambling network out of here. So he's very useful to us in that regards. He is planning on having a big dedication to a new shrine that he commissioned to Karametra over in the vineyard section of town. He's been a big proponent of promoting the production of wine in our little village here, and he wants to give thanks to the goddess of the harvest and fertility, Karametra. So I do know he's planning on having some sort of big ceremony soon once the statue's finished. I think he's writing some sort of poem about it.
I kind of casually mentioned, do remember we need to be leaving tomorrow.
And I asked him, does he have any enemies?
No one that immediately needs to be struck from my list. I do know that some of the nobles who run the vineyards are tired of having to pay a... Well, they're being extorted by a Cyclops that lives somewhat close to here for wine. She'll leave the town alone if they give her wine periodically, but just judging from y'all and your basic looks and your outfitting, I think that might still be a bit beyond your pay grade for now. And it's not a thing that's personally affecting my business or Fanax's plans. Just keep an ear open for any news you have about Minotaur machinations in the east. I mean, in the west.
Alright, so I'm satisfied, and I decide I don't want to leave the party, so I'm going to go back to our campsite with everyone.
Yeah.
All right.
Alia is much relieved to get out of there.
Okay, so if you're going to go back to the Agora and just sleep out, like I said, there's an outer wall, and then there's kind of a covered walkway around the outer perimeter of it, and people are allowed to just put
The
out
safest
a
spot.
stable. Yeah, go for it.
The safest spot we can find.
All right, so we're going to go on pause for a second.
We are back.
All right. So you sleep the night away, you have your long rest, it's fairly uneventful. The next morning, you head up to Anapsi's house right off the bat.
Yeah.
All right. There's no one at the door. You don't see the secretary come down or anything, but these are Greek houses, so it's not like modern day, everything's super secured and locked. You could just walk right on in if you want. It's just kind of like an open arch.
I see where the cook is.
Over in the kitchen, you do see the cook and the housekeeper, human. They're both passed out, drunk, on opposite sides of a table, like they've been up all night drinking.
Want to wake them up?
Yeah. In Sylvan, I asked the satyr to, hey, wake up.
Ugh.
Wakey, wakey.
What are you doing here, lad?
We're here to pick up the message.
I mean, what are you doing here, lass?
We're here to pick up the message from the master.
Oh.
He told us to be back.
He waves over towards where Napsi's office is on the other side of the courtyard.
I trot on over.
And he puts his head back down. All right. Upon entering the room...
Did I mention that she spent a lot of time with the nymphs and satyrs in the forest?
So she's kind of accustomed to their...
She wants to be a nymph.
Anaps is laying dead on the floor of his office.
Oh, shit.
There's a spilled bottle of ink next to his hand and a big puddle of ink.
Investigation check.
Yeah.
I think I'm the one with the best investigation.
Well, you can each play a different role because there's the body to look at, and then you can investigate the room for clues, or use perception to pick up visual kind of clues, or investigation for like this paper might have something on it that might have to tell us about what's going on, or anything like that.
Insight?
So who would like to do what?
I want to look at the body.
I'll check the paper.
I'll do the perception check.
Okay. So first go Sebni because you got the highest. So you're gonna just make a perception check around the room.
Yeah, and I have 4 for perception. 19.
Okay. Not only is there a spot of ink from the spilled ink bottle that apparently he had been carrying when he was killed, but there's a slight dribble of ink leading out towards the balcony, as if something got splashed on someone's clothes and had dripped on the floor as they left.
Do I notice what color ink it is?
It's black ink.
I take a look.
Okay, so
I'm checking out.
yeah, you're next. So yeah, you're doing the what? The investigation roll to look around.
Yeah, look around.
Okay.
Let's see. Rolled an 11, and I'm going to go ahead and add 6 to that. So 16 plus 5, 21.
Okay. You find on his desk, sitting on top of a long poem that Alias had told you about, you find the unfinished letter to Eurymaides, the reply letter he was writing, and also the letter that he received from Eurymaides, the one that you had brought him, which you can look at if you want.
I'll look at both.
Okay, the letter from Eurymaides is thanking Anaps for help with that riddle, before asking for help locating the Temple of Three Fates and the empty lands beyond Phala. And the letter back to Eurymaides, Anaps was recommending a book about ancient Olanton in Glossian's library, said to contain a map of the region in question. The name and the author of the book are not identified. It wasn't finished. This is the letter. And the poem underneath the letter that he was writing, it's just a long-winded dedication to a new shrine at Karametra. The last line saying that Karametra's harvest is greater even than that of the sea. You want to look at the body?
Yeah.
Make a medicine check.
Medicine check.
Or insight.
+2. I have investigation.
Medicine
No.
is wisdom.
I'll allow investigation. It just won't give you much in the terms of like forensic details, but
Yeah. 4 plus 3.
all you can tell is it looks like the guy. It's hard to tell if he was. He either was strangled to death or something like gnawed on his neck. It's hard to tell.
Do I see the confused look on his face?
Yeah.
All right,
One of you can come up and do a backup roll.
I'll do a backup roll.
Okay.
I'm going to the balcony.
Like poking.
All right.
with my
What skill?
dagger.
Got pretty much.
You're trying to identify how he died, so I'd say like medicine or just a raw perception or investigation. But medicine would be the most ideal.
I got +5 for all of them. So.
Okay.
19.
Okay. He was definitely choked to death, but with something that was apparently like chewing.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Your guess would be like a tentacle, like something that's got mouths on it, but is also strong enough to have wrapped itself around his throat all the way and choked the life out of him.
He got killed by a calamari.
It's not quite, yeah, like a squid or something, or a octopus tentacle maybe.
He's been eating too much calamari.
He was not attacked just outright by an animal, and it's not like choked to death by hands or choked to death with a rope.
Okay, I'm going to do something we should have done already. I'm going to trot in and tell the other two, hey, go.
Okay, well, you're running out the room to go alert the rest of the house staff that he's dead. You're going out on the balcony, right?
Yes.
Okay. There's another ink stain
Claim for this,
on the lip of the balcony, overlooking down, and this just a straight drop down the side of the cliff on that side of the town, and there's this ocean roiling below. There's part of a handprint of the stained in ink, only like the lower corner, not enough to really tell what race it is unless you roll really good
on what?
On a perception check.
Come on.
Beat a DC 20.
Perception 4.
Try to figure out what kind of hand this is. You know it wasn't a furry hand.
Oh! 10.
You can't tell.
Is there anything else that I see, like any other kind of disturbances on the balcony?
No. The only other disturbances in the room is by the opening of the door, like it looks like a vase got pushed over, and there's a bookshelf to one end of the room, and it looks like a bunch of books got knocked off of it and are like all piled up kind of awkwardly at the base of the bookshelf.
As I'm walking off, can I toss them a inspirational quote?
You use your bardic inspiration at them?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
All right. Which one of them are you going to give it to?
I thought I could do both. Can I? With the whole party?
I could double check. I would assume it's.
What could I use that inspiration for?
One person at a time. And you got the inspiration you can use.
You could re-roll for that.
Yeah, you're able to give yourself advantage on a roll.
Bonus action.
Which means you get to roll 2 dice and
just
take the better.
Okay.
Okay.
So you get a D plus. You can roll your inspiration, and you also you can get a plus D4, but only one time in the next 10 minutes to basically any roll.
Okay.
And you have to decide.
So
you roll first.
You want to make
another investigation roll. Now that I saw we've all conferred everything we've seen.
Yeah.
And there's the handprint, and I remember the letters talking something about Atlantis.
Yeah.
And the Temple of Three Fates.
Atlantin, but yes, basically Atlantis.
And of course, I'm still trotting out.
And I'm like, I think there must be some connection between these things.
Okay, so
we're all better this time.
Are you just doing like looking for any other clues, or are you trying to make an investigation check to put all the clues together?
I'm trying to put the clues together.
Okay,
but I'm also looking down at the scrolls that were.
He's taking.
You got the 2 letters, and you got the 2 letters in the poem that he was in the middle of writing, and then him being killed, and then ink dripping, the nature of how he was killed.
Roses are red, violets are blue.
Handprint. I mean, like, how would you put that together without making a roll before you even make the roll? Like, just using your own deductive reasoning with these clues. Also, like I said, like, on the other side of the room, it looks like a bookshelf got damaged, but you haven't gone over to, like, look at what's going on over there. It's the only other real sign of there was any physical struggle. It just looked like the guy just got surprised and choked from behind. And aside from a vase by the front door to the office, and the bookshelf being fucked up.
Well, I've heard weird stories in my travels of people getting choked in this way by some kind of mysterious sea creature, and I don't know, I think it must have something to do with it.
Okay, well roll, because there's still uncovered clues, so if you're going to roll it now, I'm going to make it a DC 20 to get an accurate read. If you want to spend a little bit more time looking for clues, I'll lower it down to a DC 15.
What's the inspiration?
You want to do the 15 because what happens is you roll, then you get to add a D4 if you don't hit the target.
Okay, yeah. So let's root around.
Okay,
make another go around the whole space.
Okay.
Anything we missed.
It doesn't even require a roll. When you get over to the bookshelves, underneath the books, which again not like books in the modern day, but like a bunch of big like scrolls shoved into like wooden tubes, so you can get multiple scrolls in them and kind of stuff. There's an unconscious and almost dead dog underneath this pile of scrolls over there. It looks like he got kicked really badly, and he's just like kind of panting. And
can I go up to him and speak to him?
He's almost dead.
You gotta heal him first.
Yeah, here, let me heal him.
Okay, you're gonna use your cure wounds.
Yeah, I used cure wounds, and let me see, it was
D8.
I'm trying to remember for the ranger. Is it any different?
Cure is just D8.
It's just a creature.
A D8 plus my wisdom. Yeah, it's wisdom because it's intelligence for wisdom.
No, you're rolling for how much hit points you heal. You don't get a plus on that.
Yeah, you don't have to like target him either. It's not like he's going to resist.
Oh, you just get.
It's not like
you just walk up and
see
heal.
how many hit points you're running.
Where is it? There it is.
So we got 2 characters who can speak with animals.
It hit the book. Do you want me to reroll? I got a 2. It's your call.
It's enough hit points to get it off a death's door.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay.
So
now
the dog isn't dying anymore.
I cast Speak with Animals, which lasts for 10 minutes, and I ask him and inquire him about the nature of this incident.
Speak with them.
He was asleep. He had just gnawed on a bone. He was asleep. The master should have gone to bed soon. There was noise. He woke up. The master is being choked by a dark man, a glittering dark man.
Any smells?
He tried to attack the dark man. The dark man kicked him across the room, and he knocked out. And that's all he remembers. That he was kicked hard enough that it almost killed him.
Oh, dang.
And he was kicked across the room and hit the shelf, and that's why all the shit fell on him.
But no odd smells. No odd.
The dog would recognize him if he sees him. He can identify the killer if you keep the dog with you.
Would he know about the Nyxborn?
That's like not an unknown thing. Like people, your characters know the basis of what the world is.
Yeah, but I'm not there. I walked out. I mean, would he know about the Nyxborn?
I should.
Yeah. Well, like the Nyxborn are a thing that like some creatures and people, like the gods, will sometimes fashion somebody basically out of heaven stuff.
So I can't tell him like what color is it.
But they have this thing where like in their shadows, it looks like you see a star field and seeing the shadowed part of their body. Like how it is on this cover here, where you see like the shadows of the Hydra, it's a star field.
Looks rad.
That's how Nyxborn creatures and people look. And a dark man who's glittery, that could be describing a Nyxborn. It's not a bad guess.
You guys thinking of anything else I could ask him? I have like a few more minutes.
I don't know if I'm going to be back.
I'm telling you, that's basically all the dog has to say about what happened. The dog is amenable to getting the bastard who killed his master and tried to kill him, and so he will identify who the culprit is.
Would he like to cooperate with us?
Within reason.
All right.
You're not going to be able to like command him to attack and shit. He's just going to be a dog. It's just like a big friendly hunting dog, kind of like a proto-Labrador retriever kind of thing.
I look at him
that breed
and say,
doesn't really exist yet.
Your grievance is regrettable, but you may accompany us if you wish to avenge your master.
He barks an affirmative. Okay, so you
always good.
You got a dog that can identify the murderer if you can figure out who the murderer is.
What's his name?
Okay, make a DC 15 investigation check to try to put your clues together. Well, and then we're going to make that roll, but then we'll wait a second and I'll switch over to you.
And what's the inspiration do?
We'll roll first.
Oh, okay. So I got +3 investigation.
So you don't need it. You can save it.
Okay.
You can, but you can only save it for 10 minutes.
Basically for a scene.
Yeah.
What's the name and breed of the dog? Just so I know.
This is like the world's just barely new. There really aren't a bunch of specific dog breeds. They're real generic. You have war dogs, hunting dogs, lap dogs. This is a hunting dog.
Any and no name that I can refer to him with?
The dog's name that his master had given him is Char.
Char.
Because he's got black fur.
Okay. Black dog.
With kind of a smoky muzzle.
Char the black dog.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's an Ephesian husky.
How many hit points total?
How many did you roll for your hero?
Just 2 for
That's how many hit points he has. You've determined his hit points randomly. Because I didn't really have specific stats for the dog.
So he's not a very...
He forgot we both had to speak with animals.
This dog is not a... well, like I said, I already had written this out before I had any of y'all locked in. There's all sorts of weird ways your character choices will allow you to interact with or have trouble interacting with the things going on in this particular murder mystery that you stumbled upon. Okay, so... DC 15, you got a 17. So it would appear, like doing a little bit of Sherlock Holmesing, that Anaps had been writing his reply to Eurymaides, had run out of ink, got up, crossed over to get some ink off a shelf, and while crossing back in front of the balcony entrance, somebody had snuck up over the balcony, somehow climbing this big-ass long cliff that's overlooking the sea, strangled him with something that appears to be an octopus tangle, a tentacle of some sort. So whether or not he is extending that or he's got some sort of weapon that's got an octopusy kind of thing going on, but choked him from behind. Apparently Anaps had like flung his ink so that some of the ink got on the guy, hence the dribbles, and got some on his hand.
Smart.
And at some point during also all this, the dog wakes up, sees his master being strangled, runs over to tries to help. He kicked the dog across the room. The housekeeper and the cook were passed out drunk or being too loud from their midnight revels in the kitchen to have noticed what was going on.
Or maybe they were drugged.
No sign of the secretary still.
I thought you said she was downstairs with the...
No, you know, it's the housekeeper, not the secretary. The housekeeper is a male human. So...
Oh. Go wake him up.
This is the situation you have. By the time you go back to the kitchen, they've had a little bit more time to wake up. So yes, you've gone into the kitchen. Satyr and human housekeeper, they're both groggy.
In Sullivan, I thought, because I'm more comfortable with the Satyr. Hey, someone killed your boss.
What?
Oh, that was graceful.
He like stands up and kind of rears back and has balances off because he's still fucking hungover. What do you mean? They killed the old man?
Yeah, while you two were drunk, they killed him over here.
Useless.
Okay, he goes stumbling out of the room. The housekeeper, like, what's going on?
In English, or in comment, I retranslate and tell him. Yo,
Oh,
boss
shit.
is dead. And while they're going out, I'm like, do you guys normally drink this bad, or?
I'm sure they were that.
Yeah, it's not like there's a whole lot to do here at night. Television hasn't been invented yet. So
No, I was just wondering, maybe they were...
there's a lot of drinking.
Maybe they were drugged.
Oh.
No, not that they could tell. Actually, they're not, but if you want to make a medicine roll confirm, I'm not just making that up.
Damn, I almost had
No.
Yeah, no, they're just honestly hungover.
Just making sure.
Yeah, that's valid, because if we can identify any poisons.
Yeah, and that's something that you would expect her to pick up from ballads and stories. I mean, she's read all the scrolls in her library.
I had a spell which allowed me to identify them as well, but I didn't pick it because I'm a foolish man.
So what you need to do is to be making some, I guess, some investigation rolls to interview the housekeeper and the cook and see what kind of information.
Do like Aristotle. Get another. You get +4.
+4?
Or you get the D4.
D4 plus to my.
It's to any ability, attack roll, or saving throw, but you have to roll first, and then you determine whether you want to use it, because he still has his, and then he tells you whether you fail or not.
So what do I have to roll?
Actually it's a D6. Sorry.
D6.
Well, since the cook ran off to go, so the cook comes into your room, so you get to interview the cook, and you can ask questions of the housekeeper and see what they might know about, like, anything strange as to, like, who might have killed the guy, because that's the kind of information.
That would be a 24.
Okay, the housekeeper mentions that the only thing he can think of is, like, who might have killed him. He knows that the sun priest of Heliod is, he's like the strongest supporter of the formalist philosophy, and he's like extremely heated rivals with the Naps. He doesn't know if that'd be enough for him to like have him murdered in the night, but he's the only person that the housekeeper knows.
Do I know anything historical about this guy?
Probably not. He's a small town priest.
Just a small town priest. Though.
Yeah.
Rival to Anapsi?
Yeah. Yeah, his rival is apparently a sun priest. And the sun priest had a name, didn't he?
And I'm interviewing the cook?
Yeah. The satyr.
Lycos the Bald is the name of the priest.
Bald like the sun.
Okay, so you want to roll, and you're going to try to interview the cook.
What information do you think I could get from them?
Right now, just try to get anything.
Yeah.
Alright, okay, I'll roll.
Either try to persuade some information out of him, or just like interrogate him and roll investigation.
I'll be respectful.
Whichever one you get better bonus off, basically.
Yeah, you can do an investigation without being rude. You can interrogate somebody without being rude.
I have better intimidation than anything.
Intimidate the information. Tell me what the fuck's going on here, cook.
Yeah, maybe I just
You're
say it a
an
bit
outlander.
sternly. Yeah. Okay. So I've got.
You got that lion roar shit. You're like, ah.
Hang on. I got +3 to intimidation. It seems. So +3 to intimidation. Yeah, and I look at him and I say in a stern voice.
Tell me what you know.
Did you see anything on that night, or did anything suspicious at all? Like with a lot of concern. 15, 16, 17.
You got a D4 if you want it.
Oh yeah.
All right.
D6.
D6. Good enough, right?
You weren't very inspired by my philosophy words.
Well, especially after hearing what clues that y'all had gathered, and hearing that you never identified the palm print on the thing.
Never did. No.
Do I go look at it? If I know what's going on.
But no, it's smudged after the first time he looked at it.
Oh yeah.
So the scene is contaminated.
The girl with the nature skill.
You know it wasn't a Minotaur or a Leonin because it wasn't someone with fur, but it could have been a satyr. It might have been a Centaur, but how a Centaur was climbing up and down that cliff in the middle of the night, very unlikely to have been a Centaur.
Climb walls.
Could have been a human. Could have been a Triton. It could have been anybody with a fleshy, human-like hand.
Yeah. It's a 2nd level spell. This character will be learning Spider Climb. He will be seeing Centaurs crawl up walls.
Or just walk.
Yeah, just...
That's awesome.
Hello.
Okay, so anyway, he throws shade on one of Anapsi's recent students, a Triton girl named Kirky, who comes and goes from town, but she's, for the last several months, has been trying to get Anaps to take her on as his apprentice. And the cook apparently just really dislikes her and doesn't trust her at all. And he's like, I bet it's that bitch.
I'd like to go and talk with them. Where can I find them?
She may or may not be in town. In other words, Kirky is a random encounter. You might run into her, you might not.
I know
her digits. No.
Yeah. Don't.
Okay.
We don't do boats.
Do you ask either of them about the secretary and where she might be?
That would probably be an obvious...
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, can I, maybe do an investigation of there must be some secretarial items and left behind things.
You should probably want to find her first, just in case she doesn't like...
Well, I'm saying to see if there's anything that would give me a clue where she went.
Well, either the cook or the housekeeper would both point out that she has she's lovers with one of the fishermen down in the fishmongers section of the village.
Man.
So she is probably spending the night with him, would be their guess. So, those are basically the clues you're able to get from the house. That's about everything that there is to be found there in terms of stuff to find about the body and what the...
Let's go talk to your buddy.
They're gonna
That's
be
probably the closest thing this town has to a guard.
Yeah, they're gonna be upset that their
Yeah.
best source of business is dead.
Been hurt. Yeah. So that's a concern for them.
Yeah,
We're not aware of this. Are we?
We were all together.
Yeah, because I took you down there.
We went downstairs with him.
I
So
see.
yeah.
No, you were on the stage when you were talking with
we were on
the
the
director.
stage.
You didn't
We
go
went
to the underground.
Oh.
I went to like the procedure because you told me I was feeling uncomfortable down there.
No, I was saying that you
you're
could
on
stay
stage,
there, but you would feel uncomfortable
Oh,
because
I thought we
they were
were
talking with the underground part. You were still on the above ground area.
Underground, but you have some idea.
You could have told them what
guys.
little bit you saw of it.
Yeah.
Which is all you just saw was like a long hallway and some rooms off to the sides and candlelight. and torches and shit. But you didn't really have a chance to look around and take a tour.
Yeah, so I agree. Let's go back to the amphitheater and see if we can...
Okay, well, let's see who's at the amphitheater this morning. Roll a die 6.
4.
All right, they have another morning performance, this time of the Theriad.
Another popular one, I assume?
Yeah, it's one of the second most popular one.
Working their way up.
Yeah.
I'm like, what idiot would build a temple of Phoenix under...
Best place to hide in plain sight?
That's a good
Just
idea.
had to watch
big
play after play. This is terrible.
Well, that's the thing. If you want to be able to speak to the theater director, either you're going to have to try to get his attention and interrupt this play, or you're going to have to wait until they're done.
Do we see the big guy from earlier?
You could try going down to the underground section. Maybe Krios is down there. You don't see him.
Yeah, I'm going to look for Krios.
This time I specifically follow you down.
Okay, so you go to the little side entrance by the side of the hill.
Uncomfortable or not, we got a job to do.
The door after that sharp turn in the stairs cut into the hill.
Watch your head.
There's that door.
You're both taller than me.
It's locked, but after knocking on it, it opens, and yes, it's Krios, the big, tall, masked man, is there waiting. You return, my brother.
Hello.
Greetings. We have urgent news. Anapses is dead. We found him murdered, and we have some suspicions, but we're not sure exactly what happened.
Well, this is most troubling news indeed. Unfortunately, the master of our temple will not be free until the end of their performance right now. Would you care to wait? Or should I have him send a runner to come fetch you when he's free?
Any idea? I asked about the Triton lady.
Oh, yes.
Oh, has he heard anything? He doesn't know. He wouldn't know. He's basically just like house security. He doesn't. He's not involved in operations.
Well, I think we need to stay and wait.
Well, I'll make a point of describing to him everything we found. See if he has any insight. He knows the town better than we do. Obviously.
Tritons come here frequently. They have a small village underwater, a little bit to the east of here, which is near a temple of theirs, right along the coast. See that little notch? There's a temple to Thassa in a cave there, and somewhere around here there's a small village of Tritons who they'll come up and trade fish and goods and all that kind of stuff. The Miletus humans and the Tritons of Miletus Bay are real similar culturally and get along pretty damn well. Yeah.
What's that place called?
It's a temple of Thassa, a coastal temple of Thassa.
Why do I get the... Why does Umberly just keep popping into my head?
I don't know. I know that name, but I'm also not pulling it.
She's the bitch queen, the goddess of the sea that kills everybody.
Well, sea gods are always fucking fickle assholes. That's just kind of a given. It's just a question of are the men worse than the women sea gods?
I think we need to wait and talk to Alia.
Sounds like a good idea.
But he doesn't know of the specific Triton, Kirky, that you mentioned.
Yeah.
But to get hold of Tritons, he'd probably have to go to the temple, because without the ability to swim at the bottom of the sea, going to their village isn't exactly convenient. Although you can often find them in the fishmonger section, because, like as I said, the fishermen come in daily to trade and sell their wares and stuff. So.
I think waiting would be a good idea.
Okay.
Let's follow one lead at a time as opposed to just...
Right.
Yeah. Overextending yourself. Okay, well, it's going to be like about a good hour until...
I'll go out and watch the play.
Okay, you're just going to go up and watch the play? Are you all going to do that?
Mr. Grumbly will probably just sit there.
Oh my gosh, again. Okay, fine.
I could. Yeah, I don't mind.
Alright.
This time less attentively, more aware of the surrounding area.
Like I said, I put my coins someplace safe.
Alright, well, after the show ends, you don't have to head back downstairs. In fact, the theater director, after a moment of being off stage, he comes back out, looks at y'all, and cuts across the little floor in between the theater and the seats as the regular townsfolk are leaving.
I greet him and then I explain the situation.
I've just been told that Anapsi has been murdered. What?
This is what we found.
Okay. Give him the full presentation.
Yeah, the blah.
Okay.
And do so respectively because he's a fellow bard, or kind of.
He has severe doubts that the Sun Priest had anything to do with it. He and Anapsi hated each other, but just like him, the Sun Priest would understand that the town wouldn't be what it is right now without the draw of having this famous philosopher there. So he wouldn't have had him.
It's like a business rival.
Could I insight check that really quick?
Yeah.
Just to be sure. All right.
DC 20 to insight check this guy.
Oh, easy. Insight. Let's see.
I could probably do it, but I'm not going.
It's all easy as well. It's all going to declare something easy until you roll a 1.
Well, I got a +4, so
you still. That's been long. It's been well past fire.
Garbage.
You can't tell. All right.
Would that count as a short rest?
As what? Hanging around for
watching the
yeah, that would count because you spent about an hour just relaxing.
I get my D10 back.
Yeah, watching some entertainment. Okay, so anyway, he has serious doubts about what the housekeeper had to say about Anaps. He doesn't really know anything about Kirky, the student. He has seen her around. She never comes to the theater.
Could he possibly identify the creature? Is there any creatures that would have a weapon like that, or any creatures that may have an appendage?
Not that he knows of. He can't help, though, but feel that there might be a Triton connection because of having to have come up over the cliff face. There's just not a lot of, known monsters in the area that they've been having any sort of trouble with that would do stuff like that. And since the dog described to you a dark man, so it probably wasn't just some random critter. He knows that none of his people had anything to do with it, for sure.
Being a philosopher... and apparently he's one of the new people. Would he have said anything to annoy followers of a certain deity or something because of the possible Nyxborn connection?
There is the thing. Okay, so you give him all the evidence, or tell him about all the evidence. And he himself had mentioned to you the last time you had visited him that Anaps was dedicating a shrine to Karametra, and you saw the poem that he was doing that. And the very last line of the poem was saying that Karametra's bounty is greater than even that of the sea.
So he could have pissed off someone.
Just the sheer act of writing the poetry, was that enough to have pissed off the goddess of the sea to send something to kill him?
Or could it be an indicator that maybe he had said something earlier about the same goddess?
Yeah.
And are those two deities rivals?
Not really. That's basic theological knowledge. The Karametra and Thassa, their realms don't touch each other, so that they're not on the same side, but they're not enemies either.
The world's probably too new for them to.
Yeah, and Thassa's kind of generally kind of isolated from the other gods. She's just kind of just doing her own thing, or the other gods are a bit more sociable with each other.
Does he think that we're onto a lead that he might have pissed off?
The Triton's definitely a suspect.
He would think that you from what information you have gathered so far, something to do with the Tritons might be what to look into. So, but getting a hold of them once again, you'd either have to go all the way out to that temple, or try to find some that are in town trading down around the fishmongers.
What would be a good offering for that god?
Oh, what would be a good offering for a sea god? Well, Tritons trade in seashells. They don't use coins.
Probably.
So, yeah. No, I mean, just any pretty seashells they'll use as for trade. You can get chests full of seashells that are worthless everywhere else, but you go to the right Triton town and you're fucking just buying hookers left and right and cocaine and everything.
Underwater
cocaine.
Do
you have access?
The best kind.
Do you have access to anything like that so we can make a good impression?
You just go wander up and down the shoreline. You can probably collect enough shells to fool those idiots.
Well, I want to be respectful of the god.
A live sacrifice of a land animal might appease her, or make her, because you'd be bringing something foreign to her, whereas killing something of the sea might be taken as an insult. And yeah, just general offerings of money and raw goods. I mean,
offer something of
Generally,
Yeah,
like
it's-
anything,
it's-
like most
it's
people
dead.
bring as offerings to gods, they'll generally be like offerings of food and wealth. So
We're making
That's-
an offering
that's-
right now.
that's appropriate.
Well,
to
I'm thinking.
the-
What I'm thinking is, let's go to the temple with an offering to be polite to the Tritons to help.
I have an
To
animal.
help
Can we
get
just get something of a Napsies? Take it
sacrificing
with us?
wine.
Yeah, get a gift of wine.
Ask him if he has anything appropriate that we might be able to use for this.
I have a lot of unhelpful ideas about Tritons because the only thing I know is from when I saw the play Revenge of the Tritons.
No, they have some small amount of like alcohol on hand there at the temple, and
It's not for our
from
use.
his angle, like this is kind of a lose-lose situation because like Anapsis is dead. There's nothing to do about that except to just explain what the fuck happened and potentially get some sort of sense of justice. But the next cult doesn't really give a shit about justice in that way. They maybe would be more interested in the revenge angle, more so than wanting to see like the murderer brought to court or anything.
We also have a dog that's interested in revenge.
And the dog can, well, yeah.
Well,
The dog's second. The dog is a tertiary thing. The dog's not like a
Yeah,
companion animal.
but the Triton. What I'm thinking is the Tritons may be being blamed wrongly. That's why I'm trying to get on your good side.
We should
to see maybe they're interested in clearing their name kind of thing.
perhaps we should suspect them first, though.
Well, yeah, we're doing both.
Yeah,
Multitasking here.
yeah. Just keep like no conclusions.
I'm trying to play a character who's more intelligent and more wise than I am by a long
Well, if
shot.
you're wanting to get a better read on what's going on with the Tritons, he would suggest you might want to poke around the fisherman's quarter a little bit, see if you can actually run into one.
There would be followers of her probably there.
She's
That
definitely
too,
one.
even amongst the humans, because the humans will be respectful. Because it's like ancient Greece. Just because you're part of a cult of Athena doesn't mean you disbelieve in all the other gods and never respect them. You might have one that you favor the most, but it doesn't mean that you're not going to be respectful and follow certain.
And there's
gods.
always tradition of paying homage to gods you don't like to try to keep them away from you.
Yeah. But yeah, so there's plenty of fishermen
Okay.
are aware of Thassa and know about the temple and stuff. So even if you can't find any Tritons, going into the fisherman's quarter and talking with some of the local fishermen might get you some
Greatly
info.
appreciate your help.
Well, so
We will try to figure this out.
I want to ask one more thing. What are they going to do about the economy locally? Are there any famous students who could even try to fill in his footsteps?
No idea. This is possibly doomed the village in the long term.
Would I as a bard know? Would I have heard of any of their up and coming students?
No, not really.
Pursuing a dead end, probably.
That one person like held up
Lycos the
majority
Bald
of
is like
comment.
now the top fucking philosopher in town because he's in charge of the formalist faction, and with Anapsi dead, there's really no one else to challenge.
Would there be any possibility of one of that faction? Would I know anything about there possibly being one that faction that would want to take him out, other than Helios? He's a famous person against them, and it's not unknown for rival schools to.
No, that's
plot against one another. Yeah.
you not knowing any of the people specifically. It's hard to say. If you'd have to like maybe go to the Agora, or go look for Lycos the Bald and talk to him because he would know the people of his faction the best probably.
So why don't we do that first to keep pursuing this angle, and then we'll go to the village.
Okay, that works.
Okay, so first you want to go try to find Lycos the Bald, or do you want to go to the fisherman's market, or do you want to split up while you're in town and some of y'all go?
I want to go down to the fishmongers, but
Let's try the bald guy first.
I'm a little skeptical of the whole thing as to whether we can really be of any much use in this situation, but I'm kind of waiting. Maybe there's some way to profit from it that I haven't seen yet. So.
Well, he says there's a chance you'll see Lycos at the Sun Temple, and sometime he's also to be found in the Agora. So you can either go to either of those two locations and have a random encounter, and see if
It's up to you. We both want to do something different.
So Fishmonger's Market.
I would rather the party stay together.
Well, no, I said stay together. So let's figure out because we both want to go someplace else. So I guess it's up to you.
Let's just which one do you want to go to first?
different.
The Sun Temple is all the way up at the top of the hill in the middle of the village section, whereas the Fishmongers is like practically across the street from the amphitheater.
All right, let's go to the
You're
Fishmongers.
physically closer to to go wander around. Okay, so you're gonna basically just go in there and ask around. Give me a DC 12 persuasion check.
Persuasion?
Or investigation, or some whatever angle you're using to gain information.
That would be an 18.
Okay. In the fishmonger's quarter, stories are told that there's a helpful fisherman who found some fancy clothes in his boat this morning. They'd be worth more if it not for the ink stains on them.
Yep, definitely.
They can tell you where to go find this fisherman.
Please do.
All right.
A fisherman from the sea?
Well, no, he found stuff in his boat, so...
Yeah, when he was going out to go fishing this morning and he's getting his boat ready, he found something weird.
It's sounding more like either a Triton or somebody who can go underwater, because they would ditch the clothes and then swim out to sea.
I see.
It sounded like to me. Let's go talk.
All right. Well, our nameless, helpful fisherman.
Yeah. First thing I do is greet him and then explain the situation.
Okay, he takes you over to the boat. He'll show you the clothes he found. It was this really nice robe.
Is the dog with us?
Yes.
Yeah, if you want to have the dog with you for now.
Yeah.
The dog isn't sniffing or reacting to him as if he's anything bad.
No, the clothes.
Let's see if we can get a scent off the clothes.
Or if he recognizes it.
Yeah, he recognizes the scent. And
can we keep
like I
one
said,
of
they're
the-
fancy. Aside from the bad ink stain on the lower hem.
Can we keep them with us so that we can use it?
For now, you can have the dog with you, but he's not a companion animal. He's not going to stay with you forever.
Can we keep the
clothes?
He was hoping that he'd be able to get something good for those in the market. Do any of you have anything maybe to trade for him?
I could.
Or you could try to convince him that you need them for the investigation to. So yeah, either persuasion or make a persuasion check with a DC 15, or offer him something.
Could I?
I don't have persuasion.
Alternatively, could I intimidate him?
Tell him he's going to be in a famous epic song, and his name will be included for the ages if he helps us now.
If you intimidate him, you get just the one and only chance, and he's not going to be helpful anymore. And you haven't finished resolving him. We're already starting to pick over whether or not you get to keep these clothes.
How much does he want for the clothes? And what could
This
he
is a
trade?
barter society for the most part. There's no coin value. You wouldn't possibly have enough coins for something like this anyway if you're buying
I
it
have
new.
pretty good sleight of hand.
You're not going to slide
A hand of robe.
You shove it in your pocket and it's just all bulked up. You're like, where'd my
I
clothes
was
go?
just thinking if we could just sing
Let
a
me
song
see
and
if I
distract
got
him for a
anything.
second.
The bard should have persuasion.
No, not yet.
What?
He's a skill bard.
Alright, so...
Wait, give me one moment.
I'm checking to see if I got anything.
I can offer him. I can offer him
Actually,
a spear for my tribe. It's handmade.
Actually, ironically, I have something.
It's probably useful for a fisherman, and it's a very good quality. It's a solid spear.
Okay, he'll accept.
All right. I trade him my one of my spears, and we receive the clothes.
No, you
Actually,
get
no, I'm not
the
the only
one
one
spear.
bought
You have a mace and a spear. You don't have two spears.
Oh yeah, I know.
So you just have a mace and a longbow now. Okay.
My
I bought 2 extra, but that's
Alright. And I guess the starry cloak is yours. In
All right.
particular. So take your robe of stars.
All right, that's nice.
That's you. I can't wear a robe.
Alright. Also there's another handprint and ink on the side of the boat.
Let me-
This time it's a DC 12 investigation to figure out.
Yeah, let me do that. 15. That's a 17.
You don't have to be a 12, so. You can tell by the puckering kind of palm print that this is definitely a Triton male.
And he's probably, maybe Nick's born.
Well, that's what the robe is for. It's glittery.
Oh, the robe is glittering?
The robe is
that
glittery.
might be.
Might be part of it. It might just be he's Nick's born and also has a Nick's born robe. You don't know.
Okay, so here's the description. A black or dark blue robe embroidered with small white or silver stars. 6 stars located on the robe's upper front portion are particularly large. While wearing this robe, you can use an action to pull off one of the stars and use it to cast magic missile.
But we don't know if that's actually what it is. I will, though, because I will cast Identify.
Alright. If
Okay.
you'd like to.
Yeah.
I hold it up to you.
Yeah, I will cast Identify.
Alright.
Use my
Is that an attunement It'll say if it requires attunement. Very rare requires attunement.
While you wear the robe.
There you go. Looking at the right card. Yeah, it requires attunement. So someone would have to like spend an hour.
So what is
meditating
so
over
it is actually.
It is what it is. It is what the card is. I didn't just like whip the card out for nothing. It's an actual robe of stars. I'm not coy with magical items.
At least we know. Where could someone?
You know, this would be this. I would think that would be a thief item.
Yeah, it definitely looks like an item that's it'd be difficult to sneak around in something that's starry and glittery.
Yeah, but the magic missile part.
Could also just be something to hold on to and one day cash in.
Yeah.
I have a disguise self once a day, so I might be able to use that to sneak in somewhere.
Yeah, that basically like allows you to look like somebody else. It's not like perfect polymorphism kind of shit. But
yeah, the cloak will still stand out. You can't.
If you don't want someone to recognize you and you want to like pass by,
dark out and wait, get away.
Yeah.
The guards are like, oh fuck that dude. We don't know. We're looking for this other guy.
I don't even know if I can technically wear it.
It'd be draped over your back, weird. So yeah, it's
it's
wearable, but it wouldn't look good.
So yeah, no. If the thief doesn't want it, I guess it's yours.
I suppose.
All right.
For now, I mean, it's something to recharge us, so we can use it and then sell it later if we need to, or
I'm
if
not
we want
sure
to.
if I want to adorn it, but I'll think about that.
All right. What time is it now?
2:19.
Okay.
Thinking it's a good place to stop.
I think so. You've confirmed that a Triton killed them. So the question is
Which
where
Triton?
to proceed? Are you going to go trek out to the Coral Temple? Is there any point to still trying to talk to Lycos the Bald, or do you feel like you've gotten the dog confirmed that he recognized the smell on the cloak, and it's a Triton handprint?
Was it identifiable whether it was a male or female?
It was a male. It was a male Triton.
Okay.
It was a big dude's hand.
Okay. I still want to talk to the sun priest just to cover everything, and then we can figure out the temple.
Okay.
Okay with that.
So, one last little random town encounter, and then we can have next week's session where your trip down the coast to go investigate the temple. So, let's see if Lycos the Bald is at the Sun Temple. This is your idea, roll a die 4.
3.
No, he's not. There are 4 plus 2 die 6 local worshippers hanging around doing prayers and churchy things. There is a total of 10 local
Politely ask
people.
if they know where he's at.
Lycos, I think I saw him down in the Agora.
Okay, I can trot over there.
Okay, head back down the Agora, and there is indeed Lycos the Bald hanging out with a bunch of the other philosophers. They're all grumbling because news of Anapsi's death has been spreading across town, and they're all kind of seeming to debate like what the hell they're supposed to do with the town now, and how they're gonna keep themselves alive and going, and also like what should they do to honor him, and what should the funeral thing, and there's like discussion of sending a rider back to Miletus to let them know that this has happened, and see if any of the Council of 12 back in Miletus wants to honor him, since he used to be the leader of the city once upon a time.
When I hear them say that, I mean, I'm walking up to talk to the sun guy. I hear until that, and I tell them that we had delivered a message and that we were supposed to bring back a reply. You know,
To Euramides.
to your medias.
Euramides, eh?
Euramides.
I've heard of Euramides.
You're a tomato.
How can I help?
I basically tell them everything we've discovered, everything we've heard, and suggest, and in a polite way, suggest that maybe it was a rivalry, and I don't in any way try to blame him. But I'm
No.
saying if he knows anyone who might.
He kind of scoffs at the notion. Is like, yeah, no, none of my supporters would take things that far, despite the fact that Anapsi was annoying as fuck. So part of me is not sad that he's gone, and is kind of waiting for the day for nature to finally take its course with him. But it's going to be really hard on this town moving forward, and none of my people would have done anything like this.
I then explained the idea that, you know, because of the writing, he may have pissed off a deity or a deity's followers. Does he know anything? Since he seems to be the
fool, if that is the case. You know, we as a society, we take Molestan Society takes great care to always honor Heliod, just to make sure that he doesn't take offense and knock one of our cities into the sea like he did with Olanton so long ago. And Thassa, just the same. You don't really want to be annoying the sea goddess when you're living right off the coast. Hopefully he has not doomed this whole town with his arrogant words, trying to insult one goddess in order to compliment another. I could see that this is probably, yes, what would have caused the offense.
Any idea what kind of offering we could make
I also
when we go to the temple later?
I have a question. Is there a temple to Karamatia?
Karametra? No, there's no Karametra in town. Like I said, you had learned
Maybe
from...
she would help us avenge his death.
Let's work on appeasing the mad goddess first.
Let's see.
It's one way to play it. Keep your aims.
If the Trians have done this, and Thassa might be angry at the town, that makes him very nervous. He doesn't need that kind of heat coming down on the village, especially with some of the things that Thassa could do if she's still offended. So he wants to make sure that, like,
we appease her properly.
It's over. So he's going to give you a holy relic of Heliod, which I need to think a little bit, but some sort of like golden statue or something that's actually worth a good chunk of coin to take.
No.
Something that the Thassa priests would recognize upon seeing as like an offering, a peace offering, that like, holy shit, the Sun Priest is giving this to us so that we're chill, so maybe we'll stay chill. So yeah, let's say he's giving you like a little statue worth about 400 gold, like in gems, and of like a Pegasus or something that's all like reared back and its wings wide. It's got like bright, like ruby eyes or something.
Oh, don't worry, I already have one of these.
Yeah, no, I will put that someplace safe in my baggage.
Okay.
And so statue of Heliod.
All right. So you've uncovered the murder mystery. You've gotten the clues to at least point you in the right direction, and possibly have figured out why this has happened. You have an offering to potentially get you into the temple without having to sneak in or fight your way in. So yes, I think that's a good enough place to stop. It's kind of sad we didn't at least get a little bit of combat for our first session, but it won't take very long for that to happen in the second session, since it'll take a little bit of cross-country travel. And those random encounters tend to be more bestial.